Hi, I'm Leon Hunter, and I'm with my new buddy, Keith Haggerty, and Keith is with WSI, which is the largest internet marketing company in the country. Keith, can you tell us a bit about your company and what it is you do?
Keith Haggerty, and like Leon said, WSI Internet Marketing. We own a franchise, and it is the largest internet marketing provider for small, medium-sized businesses, actually in the world. And we provide web development, internet marketing solutions, whether it's search engine optimization, social media, email marketing, the whole gamut when it comes to internet.
Now, Keith, do you guys use analytics with your company?
We do. All of our clients, we have some form of analytics, depending on how big or how large the client is, what type of resources they have. But we do utilize analytics with every one of our clients. And right currently we have probably 50 clients that we do work for. And it could be someone as small as a candy store here in Winter Park, Sassafras, or we have some water parks that are some of our clients. So just kind of depending on the client.
Okay.
What type of analytics we use.
Now, what type of tool does your company use? Are you with Google Analytics or
the majority of the analytics we use, we started out 5 or 6 years ago with Urchin, and Urchin was purchased by Google, and we've converted practically all of our clients using Google Analytics, and from the smallest to the largest of clients that we have, Google Analytics has been able to provide the type of resources that they need. So.
Okay. Now, what do you take into consideration when determining whether or not a campaign is working for you?
And getting back to your last question before I answer that one, when I say what kind of tools we use, Google Analytics is just one. Depending on what type of, if it's for email marketing, obviously there are built-in analytics that go with that. We also have call recordings that we track not only how the web pages are doing, but also how if phone calls are coming in. So the website, a few years back, you'd be able to track the success of the website based on if somebody went to your site and clicked the analytics, or if somebody converted through a form. But that was pretty much it. You wouldn't be able to tell if somebody went to your website based on search engine optimization or whatever, and then they picked up the phone and called you. That wasn't an aspect that you'd be able to track unless the client would be able. So now we have tools that we can put code in that actually tracks the phone calls as well. So, and we also program that into Google Analytics. We also record the conversations. So every aspect of driving the client to the customer, we're able to record now.
Right, so you're using a variety of tools, is what you're saying, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Now, how do you guys, what do you take in consideration when determining whether or not a campaign is working?
I guess that really depends on the client and their needs. I use an example of a manufacturer. One of our bigger clients is a manufacturer of hinges. Seems like a small product or whatever. But it's a large manufacturer in Ohio, and we've been able to take what they were doing previously, and not only originally all they were doing was tracking the amount of visitors that were coming to the site. So we've been able to take that to the next level, not only taking the number of visitors, but obviously the number of recurring visitors. If one visitor comes 20 times to a site, as opposed to 20 visitors coming one time, we want to know those type of things. We want to know the areas of where they're coming from. We want to know, we set Google Analytics by a bunch of different goals. We have goals built in, whether it's filling out a form, whether it's calling, and there's some other smaller things that some clients aren't that interested in, but we also take a look at, are they coming in through a mobile device? We keep track of that because 5 years ago nobody was coming to websites through their mobile phones, but now, so all of our clients, we're trying to see if it's worth it for them to maybe add a mobile version to their of their website. Is their website mobile friendly? So we're tracking how many visitors are coming in through an iPad, how many comes in through an iPhone. So we track those things as well.
Wow.
And obviously geographically where they're coming and how long they're staying, where they're going after they leave the site. Are they, the tracking of the thread of where they're going once they land on, is it a landing page, is it the home page, where they go from there.
Okay, great. And now, how do you test your company and the results of your testing?
When you mean by testing,
When you
you talk
test
about my personal customer, my personal business
Yes,
testing it?
yes,
And like, what do you mean by testing?
testing a campaign. Like, say for instance, if you're working on a website and you want to know, does this call to action work, or is this button in the right place?
There's a number of things that we do test, and one of the things we try and find out first when we come in to a client, for us, we need to know what's the value of a lead. Is it, if it's a candy store, if it's a water park or whatever, not only is it a one-time purchase, or what's the lifetime value of that customer. So once we can identify what that cost is, then we know if we're doing a pay-per-click campaign, how much is the cost per lead,
Right.
how much is the cost per sale from a pay-per-click, and then from search engine optimization, what's the value on that as well, and then we do analytics and try and compare which one's the most effective. And obviously, from our standpoint, we try to get our customers away from pay-per-click advertising and onto search engine optimization, where we can do a better job for their ROI.
Right. Now, what categories are important to view when you're looking at web analytics?
Like I mentioned earlier, the goal conversions are obviously the most important. I don't know of any of our clients that don't look at that first,
Right.
from month to month or year to date, how or conversions based off of previous years or previous months, how are they tracking, number of visitors, how many people are coming to the site, how long are they staying on the site, but ultimately it's conversion. We track everything based off of conversions.
Now, Keith, what would you say is more important? Web analytics, the tool, or the user?
That's a good one. The analytics tool is only as good as the user. We have certain clients that it's not useful at all. They don't. We provide it for them, but they don't use it. It's not something that they might. We can sit down with them on a monthly basis for 5 minutes and kind of go over everything we need. We have some clients that we spend an hour and a half every month getting into details on everything from. I just kind of pulled this one up from one of our clients, where we track pay-per-click, conversions, costs per visitor. It's got month to date, the number of links, and which ones are the best ones coming into the site. This is just the data from everything, from unique visitors, total visitors, average page views, time on site, sources of visits, and then it gets into PPC, SEO,
Right.
The phone calls, we're tracking the phone calls. So it really depends on the client and what they're interested in.
Right, and basically, so the user is really the strong point.
Absolutely.
It's really not so much the tool. Okay, now how do you feel about using free tools?
Like I said, we use Google Analytics, and for us, we've been able to maximize to the fullest extent what Google allows or what they provide. And I think the biggest problem with most people that use Google Analytics, they just look at the visitors, so they just look at the, they look at the pretty map and see where they're coming from in the United States and things like that, and they don't drill down deeper. You can now put in your social media networks and see how they're doing. Most of our clients have blogs now. We've been able to try and sell that blogs are the best way to get your sites ranked from a content perspective, and tracking the social aspect of blogs and how that's converting somebody from a blog post to your site, how are they actually converting. So,
Now, do you think there's advantage with using paid tools over free tools?
Uh, there are some clients that I can see where the paid tools might be better. For us personally and the client type of clients we have, it's not necessary. But if you're a larger client, multi-million-dollar Coca-Cola or any of the large Fortune 500 companies, I can see where you could Google Analytics wouldn't be enough for you. You need to drill down a little bit deeper.
Okay. Now, Keith, this is the last couple of questions, and it's all for the analytics, but it's more geared towards the new internet marketer. What tips or advice could you give the new internet marketer when breaking into the industry, as far as what employers are looking for and how they should best present themselves to an employer?
Good question. We currently, we've never been in a position, my brother and I, the partners in the business, and we hire specific needs, whether it's a web developer or an SEO expert, or we have somebody that handles analytics. So we've never had to hire an internet marketer because we do it ourselves. But just from being in business as long as I've been in, I would say the most important thing when presenting yourself, or if I was to hire somebody, would be I would only hire somebody that has a pretty good understanding of business. It's not, when I go in and sell a prospective client, I think that I'm successful in landing that client because I've been in business. I understand their needs. I understand what they're looking for.
Right.
So I would look for somebody who had that type of background, or that type of, with any kind of sales, internet marketing is no different. You really need to know and do as much research as the client that you're trying to sell, or the business you're trying to get into. And in order to be an effective consultant, you have to know the business, you have to know your prospects, and what it is that you have to be a good listener.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is the last question. I guess basically you answered it, but I'm going to ask you, how should a new marketer prepare for an interview?
I guess doing as much research on the business, and because every internet marketing company is different. They all have different type of clients. They all have different type of specialties. Even within WSI, so there's 1,500 consultants, but none of us are the same. Some of us specialize in one area or another. Some of them specialize in only do search engine optimization. Some of them specialize in pay-per-click advertising. We have a few that just do email marketing for clients. So find out what type of customers, find out what type, what's their strong suit, and obviously, go towards that, and do research and find out what their portfolio is and what type of clients they go after. What's their sweet spot as far as landing clients or getting, So it really depends on the agency that you're working with. For us, we deal with companies that are between 5 and, just in general, $5 and $10 million companies. So somebody that walks in the door looking to come work for us would have to have a pretty good understanding of that type of market. And, is the company going after a certain vertical? Or for us, we have clients that are, I mentioned Candy Store, we have medical. We do a wide variety of everything. We don't specialize in one particular client base.
Okay.
We have manufacturers, we have doctors, we have water parks, we have restaurants. We go after a little bit of everything. So it's a pretty diverse field. But we do have some clients that only go after manufacturers. We have some WSI people who only go after manufacturers because that's the field that they're the most comfortable with.
Right.
I started out going after hospitality industries, whether it was restaurants or, because that's the field that I was most, and I could talk the lingo.
Right.
I could talk. So I guess that's one of the things that I would suggest. You come from an entertainment background. Obviously, you'd be more suited at selling
Right.
people that you're the most familiar with. So that's kind of
Great. Well, Keith, I really want to thank you again for this interview. You've been very helpful, and I definitely learned a lot from you. You've given me a deeper understanding of internet marketing. We've you've read numerous books, you know, in this program, but just having this conversation with you has put things into its proper perspective, has really taken away the harshness or the shock of it all, you know, learning something new.
Sure.
And I really want to thank you for that, and thank you for your time.
I appreciate you coming over. Anytime I can help you out, just let me know.
Thanks again, Keith.
Thank you.